Hey gang, welcome to another episode of Dragway Memories. Starting off strong, Pee Wee Wallace and the Virginian. Now coupled up with a guy, I can't remember his name. Monza bodied, Keith Black Hemi. Look at the hazing the tires. I just don't remember any of that. But WCS racing at Cayuga early on in the year, quite cold at times. You see lots of people with their coats on. Sometimes it's freezing, but we never. Bruce Larson from Dauphin, Pennsylvania, really good guy. Used the USA 1 library. He had a relative at Sutliff Chevrolet, gave him some good deals. There he is in his first serious funny car.
Chevy powered.
Chevy powered. Tried to hang with Chevys as long as he could, but being nitro stuff, he eventually switched over to the Hemi. Here's his 70.5 Sutliff Chevrolet open ramp truck. That's the way they did it back in the day. Now he switched over to nitro getting expensive, switched over to Pro Stock, was looking to be the next big thing. And there's Sutliff Chev as well. This car later ran by Bob Ingalls. And he went back to his favorite with nitro burning funny cars. Nice Monza here against Bill Levitt in the Quickie 2. And from here he went very strong with Century Gauges, won a world championship, and finished off his driving career driving with Don Garlits in a top fuel dragster. Now Tom Anderson, that guy really turned Wemmett's fortunes around. Did very well, Tom Anderson and Jim Wemmett after this. Bruce Larson getting out of shape in his USA 1 out of Dauphin, Pennsylvania. Frantic Ford. Look at the burnouts. Just amazing. Wish they could still do that today. Dodger Glenn, I think, got the switch here. Stan Bowman, Flying Dutchman Vega. Stan out of Ohio. Good matchup here. Look at them. This is not supposed to be, but they're hanging in their foot to the floor.
Pedal job.
And Stan Bowman takes the win. One of my favorite funny cars of all time. Jungle Jim, of course, being number 1, but the Trojan Horse. Solid number 2 in my books, up against Ron Jackson, the Mandingo out of Washington, D.C. Gary Beck, our favorite transplanted Canadian. Thrush sponsorship. Look at that, he's got right down there, no tire smoke at all. Nips a piston in the lights. Easily the class of field comes in, and these regular Division 1 racers, like the Nirvana on the other line, another good looking car. Here we go with Al Hanna's machine, the Eastern Raider. I don't think it's Hanna driving. Up against Jim Butcher's Shadow. Looks like Shadow's got the edge there. Good old Division 1 WCS racing at its best. Tony Sorello and the Traveler. Boy, he's got some raw fuel pumping out there. Pat Musey in a Brooklyn Heavy Camaro, but Rich Simone out of New York in his Cleveland-powered Mustang 2.
Pro Stock
Simone,
action.
yeah, gets the win. Ronnie Manchester in a White Lightning. And the Sengstack Brothers 71 Mustang. They never did get that sorted out.
I love that car.
Cool looking machine. Grumpy Bill Jenkins, the master. Everyone wanted to beat this guy. Bob Ingalls, engine builder, later on.
Check out the truck. All right, Bert Straw's coming up now. Taking on an Econo dragster and having his way with him. Weekly and Die, we believe that is.
Could be.
And Bert takes that win. Harry Lazader with his Opel GT. I remember when these things came out, a guy in my neighborhood got one, thought he was all that, but that 4-cylinder was junk. Up against that was Larry Dobbs.
Larry Dobbs, yeah.
Yep. We think this is Ed Prout in the Bantam. Ford-powered Bantam-bodied altered, but we not sure. Nitro Joe, we're asking you.
Dennis Ferreira.
Yeah, with the ugliest dragster on the planet.
Couldn't be any uglier.
No, thank God it didn't catch on.
Yeah.
Bennett and Sereni coming up now, chased by an unknown Mustang. Super stock. At his best, Division 1, Northeast Division.
Oh, heavy hitters they were.
These guys came to play. The Wild Child in the other lane. Who's the Camaro, Bill? We're not sure.
I don't know.
394 speed AMC. And if anybody knows me, knows I like the AMCs. Yeah. TJ's Associates Novus make beautiful race cars,
yeah,
I would say.
Jerry Chambroni, I think, in that one. Had some nice colored cars.
Up against a Mopar.
Mopar. Tommy Perevsky out of Buffalo. Herbie Hugger. Barry DeSalle. 427 4-speed right there. Perevsky later had a 66 sedan and a lot more success with that one. Vanny Brothers in the Super N automatic machine. That's before NHRA refactored them to K. 255 350 up against the super stock Mustang.
Great
R&R
combo.
Arco sponsored Stormalong. I think the Stormalong number 5 or 6. Stormalong team out of Western New York. Gary Westfall, Westberg, Westfall, and later Joey Warnes. This is before Joey Warnes. This is when they're winning best appearing. Boy, oh boy, that would be amazing to wear some pants like that today. So they moved on to this. This is an earlier version. This is when the car was first bought in the 67 SS. You see as a stalker here, Gary Westfall and Gary Westberg, Troopy Kling power plants. This is the same car as a super stalker, and they set several records with this car, now out of Speed Trends in Buffalo, up against a Parkdale Automotive machine there, 1860. That's probably the captain himself, Mr. Fed Neil Smedley, also out of Buffalo. Stormalong made lots of laps at Cayuga. Westberg, Westfall, and Warren, you see now, Joey Warren's joined them, and he brought along some station wagons that they could switch classes. There's one of them there, 66 Nova wagon. They also had a 68 or 9 Chevelle, 68 Chevelle wagon. There it is, Super M automatic. You can see Joey Warren's now part of the team. Stormalong up to number 9, I believe, with a late model F.J. Smith Calais was their last entry. For Peter McRitchie in the Entech Chevelle, later worked with Beatty and Woods with that car, and Herbie Coots out of Pennsylvania as well. Ollie Stefan, very famous, several-time Wally winner. I know he's won twice at San Air, up against George Sapinski, I believe, in another K automatic car. And the Dairy Queen machine, DQ Mustang, we don't know, Frank Catone out of New York, Exact Performance. 2 Mustangs going at it, both are American, I believe. Catone takes the win. Rapid Road and Hartman Automotive, I think it's F modified production. Killer piece. Oh, G. Very heavy.
And that's all, folks.